Today's Parsha is Parsha Vayishev, which is one of my most favorite Parshas in all of Torah. And the reason is because it's about Jacob, and how Jacob wrestles the night before he's to meet his brother Esau with an angel. And I love this Parsha because where Torah tends to paint Abraham and Isaac in a very positive light, it goes into great detail on Jacob's misfortunes. And as he wrestles with this angel all night long, towards morning the angel has to leave, and Jacob says, "I won't let you go unless you bless me first." The angel changes his name from Jacob to Israel, from deceiver to one who wrestles with the Almighty. And I have maybe a different take on this, because I tend to personalize these stories. And it hasn't been well received in the Messianic community, especially among Jews who want to believe that Jacob was perfect. But Jacob was far from perfect. He was a man just like me. He had many of the same problems that each one of us have in our daily lives. And he struggled. He struggled day by day, trying to become that better person. Yet all these things kept happening to him. And it's always very, very interesting to me, because I know from my experiences in life that the more you try to do right, the more wrong comes along to try to trip you up. And Jacob had this problem. He had multiples of this problem. And each time I read about one of them, I think about times in my life when I was trying to do the right thing, and sometimes they didn't turn out so right. But the fact of the matter that I was trying to do right was the major issue. And a lot of times we don't do the right thing. We do make mistakes. We're human beings, and we have that possibility that we're not always going to do the right things and make the right decisions. But yet we have a promise that those who are faithful to Hashem, it will turn out right in the end. And we see that in Jacob's case. Even though he had all these problems, he was still one of our patriarchs. And in this process of examining Jacob, I did something that I'd never done before. The thought came to me, how much of the time did Jacob try to do right, and how much of the time did Jacob try to do wrong, or fell into doing wrong? So from the point that the angel changed his name to Israel, I began to count in Torah how many times Torah called him Jacob, and how many times Torah called him Israel. And I counted 33 times that it called him Jacob, and 33 times that it called him Israel. And what does this tell me? It tells me that this man struggled, that half the time he was doing right, half the time he was doing wrong. But nevertheless, the desire was there to do right, and he tried and tried and tried to do right. And because of this, and through all of it, he still became our patriarch. And even today, we don't use the name Israel for him. We say Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because it represents the struggles that we go through. He had the same problems that we had. He had the same struggles that we have. Day by day, we struggle with the Almighty. Day by day we try to become that better person. But it's in the trying that really counts. We'll only go forward if we try. If we lapse back into the old person, we'll never be a success. But it's in the trying, the striving to be the better person, to be the representative of Hashem Baruch Hu here on earth, that we get our successes. So I would encourage you today, when you read this story about Jacob, to see in that story each one of us individually and the struggles that we go through. And no matter what kind of trouble we get into, Hashem is there with us. He never leaves us, he never forsakes us, but he's always there to encourage us to be better, to grow into that person that he desires us to be. Because although he gives us a new name, it does not guarantee us success. We have to make ourselves that new name that he has given us. It's up to us as individuals to struggle day by day to be the person that Hashem Baruch Hu wants us to be. And my prayer is that each one of us realizes that, and through it are able to overcome the evils that come our way, the temptations to draw us back into the old life, and that we put them aside, knowing that in the end, just like Jacob, we too will be the winners. Shalom and Yom Nifla.